Yes, my name is Dan Plute. I'm the CEO, owner of a company called Material and Contract Services, and we specialize in providing project support, consulting, and outsource procurement services. Prior to starting my company, I worked for an international engineering construction company called Bechtel International. We've been in business for over 20 years and provide support mostly to the Western U.S. market. We have done work both in the private and public sectors. The question is, what is spend management? Spend management, to me, is the ability of an individual or a department to manage and control the dollars that are expended for the procurement of goods, services, and materials and equipment. And it's the ability to manage the funds in a way that will save the money, save the company money, and provide less risk and more volatility or less volatility in selecting a domestic or international supplier or provider of the services. There's various techniques that you use to manage and control the dollars expended. Typically, you would do a kind of a spend analysis. In the spend analysis, you would try to identify the major commodities that are purchased and the major services that are purchased by the company. And you break that down into segments by the same vendor or the same commodity. You try to leverage the dollars spent and get better volume procurement agreements in place. You ask, how do you prepare RFQs for construction work? And I think the key element for an RFP document is the ability to be able to adequately describe the scope of work that's going to be required for the contractor to perform. And the scope of work can be, broken down into phases anywhere from, you want to start off one phase, a second phase, or whatever it should be. But you clearly define the work elements that will be required to perform for the work element. You break it down into categories. You can break it down into labor elements such as groundwork, permits, structural steel. You can break it down into interior work, roofing, plumbing, electrical, heating. And you try to break it down into elements that will be able to identify the total number of labor hours and the labor cost to provide the support for the various phases. I think the second most important element in the RFP process is the deliverable statement. And the deliverable statement will define what you expect the contractor, construction company to perform for you. And again, it's linked into the scope of work statement. And again, you can identify the phased-in approach where you identify a certain amount of work to be performed. At the end of that phase, you see significant progress. You can link the phases into a payment schedule as an example and say once you complete the cement work or the groundwork and you approve that work element, then you go ahead and authorize payment. I think the third phase of a RFP for construction work would be what I call the contract completion. And again, the contract completion clearly defines what you expect the contractor to do for you for the work that you have paid for. You may have some holdback clauses into the contract closeout that will assure you that the plant or construction work is built to your specification before you finalize the payment. And also in the contract closeouts, you have certain methods that you have to review the completed work, and you would expect them to provide you, the contractor documentation on the equipment that was purchased, put together kind of the phased-in approach to the warranty. How do you do the warranty? The contract closeout could then have startup, conditions and terms into it, which says that you got to prove that the plant will operate to capacity, 100% capacity, say within a 30-day time window. If not, there may be some holdback clauses in the contract closeout to protect your interest. So again, the three main elements of what I call a construction contract would be the scope of work statements that defines what you want to do. The deliverable statements are basically what the contractor is going to do for you, and it provides, the various levels of cost for the various phases. And the third element is what I call the contract closeout. Who needs to know how to do this? I think, you're looking at a procurement contracts professional, and they're generally very closely linked into your engineering construction group or the design engineering individual who would be laying out the whole construction project. I think the important thing then is to be able to go out to the marketplace and identify who would the key players be that would perform the work that you're looking for. I think in that particular phase, you would spend quite a bit of time looking at their qualifications, how long they've been in business, relative past experience providing the construction work that you're looking at. You probably do a due diligence on them, do a D&B report or other various means to determine their financial strength. You look at the key players that would be, linked in to provide the work for you. You'll probably have some project completion terminology in there, say that the key people have to stay in the project till it's over with. I guess the key thing is again you really do your review and qualify the contractors, and if there's going to be subcontractors, you try to get some terminology in there that protects you from the prime not paying the subcontractors. So again, the key people that would be looking at for the RFP would be the contract administrator, procurement professional, and somebody within your engineering construction department that would link the two of them together to be able to finalize the agreement. Again, Dan Plute, thank you.